Here she is, my 1998 Fiesta. Just get into the car. Good morning, I hope you had a good Christmas and welcome back to the channel and another video. Yeah, this morning it suddenly occurred to me that my little Fiesta I've had for around 6 months, so what a time to do a user review. It's difficult to think now that these cars, I mean I struggle to think that this car is nearly 25 years old. Remarkable really. I picked this car up for a few £100 back in May. So by the time it was registered to me, it was I think about the 1st of June, so it's just clocking up 6 months of ownership with me now. I have been using this car absolutely every day to get to work and back, pottering around town doing the odd bit of shopping, which is what I'm doing this morning actually. As of today, it's Boxing Day. I normally put out a video on a Sunday, so wanted to record some content for you guys. So what's it like to own a Mk4 Fiesta? I think I found a particularly good example, to be fair. A friend of mine recommended this. It was actually on Gumtree for sale, not too far away, last summer, and spoke to the owner, and he was actually prepared to bring it over to me. So we did that. The moment I got the car, I went over it from one end to the other, expecting to find rust on the sills as a key point, as on many cars. Not a blemish, not a spot. It was only then when I looked at the service history that I actually realised how clean this car actually was. It's never had a patch of welding, it never had any major repairs, full Ford dealer service history from new. I didn't actually want to go this way, I'm just recording some content for you guys this morning to give the car a bit of a run, because I don't like doing short trips in it. My work is a 12-mile round trip to work every day, so it does get up to temperature and does get used, which is what's important when you're using a car on short journeys. It's come on terrain, haven't got a slow driver. Why is it when on Christmas Day and Boxing Day people do 10 miles an hour? Oh no, I know the answer to this. It's because everyone's pissed right up and they don't want to get stopped by the police. I'm not, by the way, so don't worry about me. So in terms of ride quality, the suspension is quite firm in a little car like this. It's not soft and wafty like a big old barge would be. That could be down to the shock absorbers, I don't know. It's probably on its original shocks, to be fair. There's nothing to indicate that they've ever been changed. I went through the history when I bought the car. It went in for a main dealer service twice a year, despite the fact it was only doing a couple of hundred miles a year. Sometimes less than that. This car really hasn't been used. The cabin is light and airy. Because it's an older car, it's still got quite smaller A-pillars, so the visibility is excellent. If this is a manual steering rack, there's no power steering system, but you don't really need it when you're pulling out of a parking space. The steering is a little bit heavy, I'd say, but other than that, it's fine on the go. The heat is really good, warms up the cabin quite quickly. This is the Enduro engine. It's the 1.3 push-rod engine, so there's no cam belt to worry about. That was one of the things I didn't have to bother with when I'm looking at buying a car. Obviously with most modern vehicles now you haven't got that option, sadly, but I wanted something with a chain rather than a belt, because it's just one less thing to worry about when it comes to servicing. Yeah, 54 genuine 1,000 miles, really good on fuel. I'm still running this on super unleaded because I just don't want to put that E10 in it. I have run a couple of tanks through this, and to be fair, it's been absolutely fine, but I don't let the car stand around for long periods of time. I use it. I think E10's only a problem, and this wasn't supposed to be a discussion about E10, but I think E10's only a problem when you're letting it sit up for a while, and then the fuel apparently separates. Yeah, so I'll just do this bit of shopping at Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available, and then we'll come back home. I'll do a bit of walk and talk. I want to do a walk around the video for you guys, just show you the vehicle. I'll just pull out, why don't you? And I'll just immediately stop and go left. Thank you very much. And you can wait. And then what we'll do, sorry about that, ran over. Yes, we'll give the car a wash, because although I don't live in the colder parts of the UK, there's not much shovel or snow this time of year where I live in the south, but I want to give the car a wash and wax, so we'll do that this morning. You can wash me. You can wash me. No, you can't wash me. No. You can watch me wash the car. Right. I'll stop waffling now and yeah, don't know where I was going with that. Right. See you in a bit. Right, well, shopping has been achieved, a cup of tea has been made, and I've had breakfast. So, without further ado, let's show you around the car. So the Mark IV was a sort of fresh design for Ford, really. Still retain the same looks as the Mark III, which would be a much squarer car, much sharper lines on the Mark III. This is much softer and sort of in keeping with the design flow that was, I suppose, the trend at the time. Right, so two inside. Coming aboard, there's plenty of storage space, little cubby holes here and there. Original radio cassette. Interior mirror, two sun visors, one with a mirror, one without. And this particular model, being the LX, does have a sunshine roof, which doesn't leak, I'm relieved to say. Glove box there, plenty of space for your Weathers originals and other vintage suites. I am about 6 foot and there's plenty of headroom in here. Supportive seats, like I said. So to get into the boot, you've got to do it the old fashioned way. There's no manual boot release inside there. Just put the key in and you're straight in there. Rear seats do fold flat, there's plenty of storage space internally. Parcel shelf is removable. The seats fold away and you can get quite a bit in there. I mean, I've had a gaming chair in the other day, did a tip run, got loads into the back. Spare wheel on this car is underneath, which is a bit of a pain. I don't know if you can see, but there's a cage underneath the car there that drops down for the wheel. Bonnet releases on this side under the steering wheel. So by the time the Mark V had come along, they'd gone over to the Z-Tech engine, and this was getting a bit long in the tooth by then, but this is such a simple engine to work on. Obviously earlier models would have had a carburettor up top, but this has got the fuel injection, which makes it a little bit more reliable, I guess. Touch wood, I've not had any problems with this engine at all. The only thing it does do occasionally on mornings is hunt a little bit of the traffic lights, and that's down to the idle air control module, which is this fella here. They're easy enough to replace, 2 bolts and a plug there. There's a gasket which just attends to the block, but to be fair, they can be cleaned up, and because they do gum up over use. But they're about 25 quid on eBay, so that's going to be another job for another day, I think. But yeah, very reliable little engine. The only thing I've done to this car is, in terms of servicing, is change the auxiliary drive belt. There it is there. You can get straight to the alternator, adjuster on the side, very straightforward. But yeah, it's looking a bit grubby at the moment, so perhaps I'll get the bucket and sponge out and we can do a wash. Two things you need to do a good car wash: bucket of warm water and some shampoo. I'm using Formula 1 by Valeting. There's two good reasons I'm using this. One, it was given to me for free, and two, it's all I've got. So we'll just put a dash, just a smidge, in with the hot water. That's way too much. That's mixed, and then once we've done that, we'll buff the body off and then hit it with the old showroom shine. That was wasteful. Anyway, I'll stop waffling now and we can wash the car. I get wet knees. Might have got a bit over the top on the old shampoo there. But hey ho. Tend to use older sponges when it comes to doing the wheels because they're going to get ruined doing the wheel trims. Is that rain? Great. I like to use an older sponge for the wheels because they're going to get ruined. Start with the back wheels because generally they don't get as much dirt and brake dust as the fronts because of the calipers. That's if your car has calipers on the front, of course. And then once you've got that done, get a brush inside the wheel arch and just get any mud or debris out so that it doesn't attract rust in the future. Right, I think it's time for a wash off and a buff, and then we can get some wax on there. It's rainy out there. Well, I guess we'll just wait it out, wait for it to stop, and then I can dry the car off, and then I can get some wax on it. Then it'll probably rain again. Could go make a cup of tea.